The stolen haven. My sister schemed to claim my sanctuary with our parents' blessing, but I turned their betrayal into my victory, defending my refuge with ironclad resolve. I'm Nora Tate, 40, seated at my parents' walnut dining table, sunlight dancing off etched glassware as the aroma of Mom's herb-crusted roast fills the room. Dad slices with meticulous care, ignoring my request for a modest portion and heaping my plate. "You're too lean, Nora," he says, focused on the roast. At 40, I don't need portion advice, but before I can respond, the door flies open. My sister, Elise, bursts in with her husband, Cole, and their 2 kids, bags crashing, voices overlapping. "Sorry we're late," Elise says, her excitement raising my guard. "Got caught at the shops." "Shopping before dinner?" I ask, but Mom's fawning over the kids buries my words. Dad and Elise share a look, a coded signal of exclusion that twists my gut. "Let's dig in," Mom says, smoothing her teal napkin. Tension simmers as we pass plates, Mom asking about my latest interior design project, Dad probing Cole on real estate. Then Elise strikes. "We're moving into your seaside bungalow next week. Our house has electrical issues." My fork stalls. "What?" "It's just sitting there," Dad says, eyes probing. "I want the attic room," Elise's daughter chirps. Her son argues, revealing they've already picked spaces. This was no snap decision, it was planned. That bungalow, bought for $395,000, restored with $90,000 after a storm 4 years ago, is my refuge. Post-divorce, I rebuilt my life there, learning to sleep without bolting doors twice. "Family supports family," Elise says, her tone polished. 5 months, max, Dad adds. Cole looks away. I set my napkin down, clarity cutting through shock. "You're too possessive, Nora," Mom chides. "Family pitches in," Dad declares. Elise smirks, expecting my usual yield.
"Not now."
I pull a folder from my purse, revealing permits and contracts from 4 months back. Renovation starts Monday. Full rebuild, 7 months. Silence engulfs the table. Dad's knife pauses. Mom's glass hovers. Elise's smirk fades.
"You're kidding," she snaps.
"We canceled our lease." I sip my water, steady. "Find another place." Elise's history of taking, my bike borrowed for weeks, a $12,000 loan unpaid, my spare key used without asking, surges in my mind. "You can't do this," she says. "The bungalow's uninhabitable during construction," I reply, showing security specs. Dad pivots. "Think of the kids." Mom adds, "They need stability." I stand firm. "Your problem isn't my emergency." Elise glances at Dad, their old guilt play in motion. I leave, their protests fading. My phone buzzes, Dad's calls ignored. At home, I call my contractor, Mara. Locks updated, cameras live. "Set for Monday," she confirms. Monday, a moving truck roars up my bungalow's drive, Elise's logo on its side. Mara's crew blocks it with cones. Elise storms out. "Move my truck." I show permits. Work started. She tries her old key, nothing. A speaker blares. Unauthorized access detected. Elise pales. "You changed the locks?" "Last week," I say, pointing to cameras. "Police are on standby." She retreats, yelling at Cole. I call Bayview Auctions. Collect the dumped furniture. Donate proceeds to teen shelters. Elise's armoire lands on the grass as Mara's team begins demolition. Wednesday, my phone erupts. "You sold our heirlooms." Elise screams. "You left them on my property." I counter, citing footage and police reports. "Book a visit if you want." My parents arrive, stunned by the gutted bungalow. Bare studs, no trace of Elise's plans. "This is lunacy," Mom whispers. "It's mine," I say. Dad tries. "Halt this, and we'll help Elise." I laugh. "You cut me from the will for refusing Cole's startup loan." Mom's tears, calculated, fall. "The kids, Nora." "I'm helping them," I say, nodding to a teen study corner, funded by the $9,000 auction. 3 months later, At another strained dinner, Reverend Lynn joins, a parental tactic. Family unity, Mom pleads. I show my tablet. Bungalow photos. Storm damage I fixed alone. Ignored pleas for help. Boundaries aren't betrayal, I say. Dad nods, eyeing the blueprints with reluctant respect. Elise arrives, expecting support, but finds silence. I offer a housewarming invite for May 15th. Guests only, I say, exiting. 6 months later, my bungalow shines. Open layout, pine beams, my studio facing the sea. I host friends, laughter filling spaces. Elise sighed. My parents visit. Odd. Impressive, Dad says. Mom leaves a cactus, a small gesture. Elise texts an apology. I reply, dinner next month. No moving talk. At my pier, sunset paints the sky. My reflection stands strong. Peace isn't giving in, it's standing firm, built one boundary at a time.